Well, the last question's for you, Dave. I know you've written a book about the effectiveness of presidents in our past, and I'm not asking you to evaluate President Trump by any means, but I was just wondering about your take on how all the legislation, all the things that are going to be leading up to the election is going to affect the housing market.
Well, it's a lot depends on what happens over the next few months, but I can tell you that unfortunately, speaking in terms of both home purchasers, landlords, investors looking at buying additional properties, as Charlie's already indicated, it's to quote Charles Dickens, it's the best of times, it's the worst of times, because in terms of best of times, we have phenomenal mortgage rates. While the inventory is down here in Texas, inventories around the country are reasonable, and I do expect there will be a reasonable amount of inventory come this fall in most markets. The worst of times is that, by the way, you can't really buy a house as an investor if somebody's sitting in the house and cannot be evicted. So you could go buy a property and it'd be almost like going to a foreclosure sale where you're hoping the house is there after you get the deed. I am concerned that the politicians will do more. There seems to be a anti-landlord emotion floating around the country, and there may be big-time landlords out there who own hundreds of thousands of units, these huge apartment complex companies. But the reality is that similar to small business in America, which is really a huge employer in America, are just the little mom and pop businesses, as we say, and the 10 and 20 employee businesses. Similarly, our rental markets are dominated by small landlords. I am a small landlord. I have had a single family house that has been vacant since has not paid rent since October. So I have lost 9 months of rent at about $2,200 a month rental loss income, and my overhead to hold the house is about $2,400 a month. So it's a very dramatic loss. And so I think that the political reality is there's a lot of people out there saying, well, let's give us more eviction relief and all that. But I don't think there's a real understanding of the flip side, which is the day-to-day people who maybe have done what has been advertised for at least the last 20 years, saying to people, don't sell your current house, rent it out, buy another house, become part of the American real estate investment. There are untold number of shows, flip this house, rent this house, how to make millions in real estate and all that. And I think that as Charlie has mentioned earlier, it's really important, if people are going to be in the rental market, to have cash reserves and to be able to stick things out. And I would not count on the current government, whether it's Republican or Democrat. This is a nonpartisan commentary. I don't think the government on either side is going to be very positive towards landlords and the real estate investment market, other than a very important factor, keeping interest rates low. But frankly, they have no choice. So I looked for the federal funds rate to continue to be very low for the foreseeable future. In other words, we could have a near zero federal funds rate into 2022 at the rate things are going. So let's see how it turns out. But right now, I would say we want to tread very carefully as landlords and investors.